AITA for asking my roommate's wife to wear bottoms around the house. For some context, my SO, significant other, and I own our home. We've worked hard to make it comfortable, to decorate it just the way we like, and to keep it a clean, relaxing space. I wouldn't say I'm a clean freak, but I do take pride in keeping things nice. Our house has a warm, earthy aesthetic, deep browns, rich reds, blacks, and creams. It feels cozy, sophisticated, and well like home. 6 months ago, my BIL brother-in-law needed a place to stay. He and his wife, Tina, were in the process of selling their house, and he had just gotten a job in our city. The idea was that he would stay with us temporarily, just a couple of months tops, while they figured things out. At first, I didn't mind. He's family, and it's not like he was freeloading. He pays a small amount in rent, and he has a job. No big deal, right? I wish that's where the story ended. The problem started with Tina. She wasn't supposed to be staying with us regularly. In theory, she was still living at their house a few hours away, going back and forth while they handled the sale. In reality, she started showing up a lot. At first, it was just for a few days here and there. But soon, she was spending half the month in our home. And when she was here, she made herself a little too comfortable. Now, I don't have an issue with people feeling at home in my space, if they respect it. But Tina, she didn't respect anything. The first time I noticed something was off was when I walked into the living room one morning and saw her sitting cross-legged on my black decorative cushions. No big deal, right? Except she was wearing this old, oversized nightgown, one that barely covered her at all. And she wasn't wearing underwear. I did a double take. Maybe I was imagining things. Maybe she was wearing something underneath, and I was just being paranoid. But then, a couple of days later, I went to clean the couch and noticed a stain on the cushion. A dark, wet stain. It smelled off. I threw the cushion out, thinking, okay, maybe it was an accident. I won't make a big deal about it. But then it kept happening. Over the next few weeks, I started noticing more and more of my cushions getting ruined. Tina had a habit of sitting on them. Bare. But the worst part was that she never acknowledged it. I don't know if she thought I wouldn't notice or if she just didn't care, but every time I had to throw one away, my resentment grew. I didn't want to assume the worst, so I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I figured maybe she didn't realize what was happening. Maybe she'd be embarrassed if she knew. So after the third ruined cushion, I decided to wait and see if she would clean it herself. I left it there, stained, smelling not great, to see if she'd take care of it. She didn't. She sat on it again the next day, in the same nightgown, like nothing had happened. And that's when I started to seriously lose it. Now, I need to pause here and say, I understand that incontinence is a sensitive issue. It can be embarrassing. It's not something people talk about easily. But here's the thing. This isn't just about incontinence. This is about basic hygiene, about respecting someone else's home. Because it wasn't just that she was having accidents. It was the fact that she did nothing about it. She never cleaned up after herself. She never acknowledged it. And worst of all, she actively made it worse. One morning, I saw her lift up her nightgown before sitting down. She knew exactly what she was doing. She chose to sit bare on my furniture. I was horrified. I wanted to scream. Instead, I did what I've been doing for weeks. I grabbed disinfectant, scrubbed everything, and threw out yet another cushion. At this point, I knew I had to say something. I just didn't know how without completely losing my mind. So, I decided to go my BIL first. I figured maybe he could talk to her in a way that wouldn't embarrass her. Maybe he could gently suggest that she wear underwear in the house, or at the very least, use some sort of protection. I pulled him aside and as calmly as I could said, "Hey, I need to talk to you about something kind of awkward. I've noticed that Tina has been, leaving stains on the furniture. I totally understand if she's dealing with health issues, but would you mind asking her to wear something underneath her nightgown while she's here? Just so things stay clean." He turned bright red and stammered something about how he'd talked to her. Did he? No. A few days later, I walked into the living room and saw her sitting in the same stained nightgown, on a brand new cushion I had just bought. I nearly lost it. I took a deep breath, walked over, and said as nicely as I could, "Hey, Tina, I want to check in about something. I've noticed some accidents happening on the cushions, and I just wanted to ask, would you mind wearing something underneath your nightgown, just to keep the furniture clean?" Her face immediately twisted into an offended sneer. "Are you serious? You're telling me what to wear now?" I stayed calm. "No, I'm just asking for a little consideration. This is my home, and I just want to keep things clean." She scoffed, rolled her eyes, and stormed off. That night, my BL barely spoke to me. The next morning, she was still in the same nightgown, still not wearing anything underneath. I realized then that she was doing it on purpose. That was it. I went out, bought a pack of incontinence pads, and left them in the bathroom she used. I didn't say a word about it, just put them there. She left the next day. I honestly don't know anymore. I try to be polite. I try to be patient. I even tried going through her husband first. But apparently, asking someone not to sit bare on your furniture is offensive now. I feel like I'm living in some kind of nightmare. So, Reddit, AITA,